G'day guys, welcome to this week's weekly developer update. I'm CW and here we are once again for another jam-packed dev update. As you can see by the little screen above me here, we've got quite the update. A number of community members have come in and started providing their updates once again. So without further ado, let's jump in. So kicking things off, we have AcoSmrkas. So his update is for the Erg Explorer. So in short, has implemented issued tokens list, implemented block and token details view, and updated search to include search by token ID and block ID. And then next up is working on NFT previews. We'll try and present smart contract transactions information better, and also a visual overhaul and light theme. So learn some people actually have issues with the dark themes. So thanks for that. It's great to have some infrastructure dependencies away from the main Explorer itself. It's fantastic to see that the community is getting on board there. Okay, scrolling down, short little update here from LowKeyNerd for Blitz TCG. So he's currently still in Japan, hoping to get back soon. And in the meantime, LGD has basically created the Blitz burn mechanism on Ergo. So he reckons LGD, he's a beast. It's great to see. Moving on, we have Grand Gambit. So just listed the Bass token at Grand Gambit. Comes with a contest to win more Bass. Continued the weekly free token series. This week's users will earn CYPX while playing. And last week it was Comet. I think Grand Gambit's sitting now at around 22,000 transactions. So recently increased quite a bit due to Paideia listing and the Paideia contest and the free Comet token. So let's see how Bass goes. Awesome to see people getting in and utilizing the platforms on the Ergo platform itself. Next, we have Ladopixel. So it's updated ErgoTutorials.com with the latest translations. So it's going to get to work on new translations as soon as he finishes some exams at the end of next week. So I had a thought about continuing with Python, Fleet, distributed signatures, and interactions with some of the new dApps created. Any suggestions for new tutorials is always welcome. Be happy to create any if his knowledge allows it. And you can add it. You can create an issue on his GitHub. So if you have any requests there, by all means post them up. So it has added a number of tutorials in Italian and German by the looks of things. So next up we have greenhat. On his progress, has added collected data point boxes source to determine active Oracle count in the pool status endpoint. Has also set up Prometheus and Grafana, and is also looking to implement metrics export in Oracle. And a work in progress is adding the Oracle Health endpoint to the REST API to monitor Oracle status. And then next up, we'll add pool health endpoint for monitoring pool status and start the Prometheus metrics implementation. So you can see that on the links provided. Okay, following greenhat, we have MHS and the Rosen Bridge update. So on Rosen chains has improved abstraction by adding the generic types to abstract chain network. So what that does is enable the type checking for serialized data, such as transactions and boxes, and removing the redundant serializing and deserializing. So it greatly improves performance, and has also updated that in all implemented chains and networks, and almost tested, so I'll publish a new version shortly. So has fixed a bug in the get meme pool box mapping function of the Cardano package, and has also removed the dependency to CRP14 package due to the ES module problems. And then on the guard service, the problem with the CRP14 has now been fixed, and some minor bugs have been found and fixed also, and just still currently in the testing phase. Onto the watches, fixed a bug in getting the permit transaction, where the watcher would continue with the WID So if the transaction were to fail, such as a fork case or connection issue when sending the transaction, so they added the process to the transaction queue and will now be handled by the transaction queue procedure. Has worked on adding the APIs to the project. So the asset and info APIs are currently completed. Observations and events APIs are in code review right now, and a few other APIs will be added next week. And then miscellaneous, more research and development on the EVM-based chains. Has analyzed the requirements for the refactoring of some of the front-end projects and has the implementation of the new ones. Can't wait to see the progress there week to week. A lot of the community members are hanging out to see what Rosen Bridge brings to the ecosystem. Okay, next we have Luivatra and the Paideia beta. So found a bug in the snapshot contract when the reward delays 1. So implemented a fix for that and also fixed another issue in the snapshot contract. Has also implemented a fix for the creation height issue in sending funds from the treasury. So the output boxes for the send fund transactions defined at creation of the proposal time. The blockchain height at the time of actually executing the transaction is tough to predict. So the contract ignores the creation height of outputs and only compares the rest of the bytes in bytes without ref. Next is currently integrating on-chain DAOs into the Paideia API. Has implemented getting the list of DAOs and extracting their configs. And then next up is creating endpoints for staking. So those that are not present in the Web2 Paideia, and is integrating proposals. So the contracts surrounding the proposals and actions are as generic as possible. Multiple endpoints will be built up on top of it, so the user-friendly for the front-end user. Okay, next we have Morphic, and he's working towards the Sigma update for version 5.0.8. So support for Scala.js and further reorg, so part 4 has been merged. Has prepared the release candidate for version 5.0.8 PR. It's ready for review. And then on the Ergo node side, has upgraded the Ergo node to use Sigma 5.0.8. Tested full node sync with the Sigma version 5.0.8 release candidate, and has also reviewed the pool 1989. And then on the appkit, has upgraded the appkit to Sigma version 5.0.8, and miscellaneous has finished an article about the ChatGPT plugin for Ergo node, and has also implemented the multisig in the appkit based on ERP11. Okay, next we have Glasgow. He's once again doing a lot of work on the documentation side of things. If you want to check that out, visit the link at docs.ergoplatform.org. So there's a new version of the MK docs with improved search being the main highlight. Lots of small text improvements around the site in general. Most of the work on the data model section after a complaint about the boxes. So there's also improved the Explorer, GraphQL APIs node sections. And please submit some PRs or come to a Telegram channel and tell him the structure that could be improved. So also always looking for improvements. And if you have any suggestions, by all means, make a PR and put that forward. So Ergo Tokenomics. So published some changes to the following link that Baby Grenade was kind enough to fix and push live. So ErgoPlatform.org, there's now a chatbot trained on the docs and PDFs live on ErgoPlatform.org. Fantastic, multilingual. If you have any questions about anything sort of in the ecosystem, jump on there and get a great oversight of what that actually means. And then also, once again, on the ecosystem bridges, so added some new bridges. So the Auction House, ErgoBass, Explorer, looks like, and Minotaur Wallet. So there's instructions there for any additions also. Next, we have Captain Nemo with a short little update. So on the Nautilus side, has released version 0.8.1 Also added signing flow improvements. On the Machina Finance side, it's also researching and doing tests for the off-chain bots aggregator framework. Can't wait to see how that sort of pans out. That's going to be a big one. So what Machina Finance is doing is sort of order-based, creating an order-based DEX. So kind of like a centralized exchange order book. But yeah, decentralized, utilizing UTXOs. They're fantastic. Can't wait to see how that's sort of utilized. Okay, next we have Kushti. And on the protocol and reference client development side, it's finalized 5.0.11. It's currently been released now. He's also, as of today of recording, has a release candidate for 5.0.12. So watch this space for that release. Testing and debugging and bootstrapping with the UTXO set snapshot. As many peers bootstrapped with the UTXO set snapshot will have pruned blockchain. So it's working on a new sync info message, which is providing information about parts of the blockchain a peer has, and is checking new layer 2 solutions for Bitcoin called Arc and how it could be done in Ergo. That's exciting. On the Dexy front, has made code auto update trackers used in the bank and LP contracts. And Dmitry Yusov has shared the UI. So after some testing, it can be made public for the testnet contracts. And then on other matters, consider redemption fee in the ChainCash to incentivize providing reserves and also using the nodes. Has a lot of discussions with Bruno on how to on how current Sigma USD bank can be updated, extended, JED, and then the new stablecoin designed by Bruno, and some degen finance. Yeah, it's nice to see. So for those of you who don't know who Bruno is, he's one of the main architects behind the Age USD sort of contract, which is Sigma USD's based upon. Also, you can see the JED side. If you want to know more about Bruno, you can jump on and check out the JED Alliance Twitter handle. Okay, scrolling down. Pragmaxim's researching spiking in the blockchain persistence area. Just switch the UTXO state persistence to Mr. Store, MV Store, sorry. Notmork on the current Comet update and R&D. So working on new dApp front end and off-chain bot template to speed up the future development. We'll share ErgoAuth with a mobile wallet, a tutorial next week probably. So it's also playing with Babel fees. Users can now buy SigUSD on 7Seas exchange, but don't know of any SigUSD front ends that currently support the SigUSD Erg Babel boxes. They're currently experimenting that with the ideas for users, so who want to buy SigUSD on a SEX and can swap for Erg on chain. We'll open source code, the code, so the actual competent devs, unlike them, can fork and build something better. So know your assumptions and still get wrecked. Comet. It's fantastic to see. I love the Comet guys. Always having some fun in the chats and everything, but then also building some pretty cool stuff for the community to utilize. Next we have ErgBass. So sort of ran out of time to make an actual update, but a couple of things I want to highlight about the bass. The community already caught all of the bass for the first 3 rounds of the fishing pond, meaning the max you can catch from each cast now set to 0.00777777, and they're currently implementing the halving to ensure that they don't run out of tokens, and that'll be fully shown in the fish paper updated today. All of the Erg from the fishing pond, minus the developer's fees, is being added to the LP on the Spectrum side and is locked for 100 years. Wow. And then number 3, their site just got completely redesigned today, so check out the new chart on it, courtesy of the Erg Cube, and also read the full fish paper at ergbass.xyz. Speaking of the Comet guys, we have Cotillia here. You're too much for Comet theme. Really don't understand half of that update from ErgBass. And believes half the holders of Comet don't either. I like the banter. Okay, next up we have MGpai and the Lilium update. So it's added explicit NFT option, is improving the royalty option, adding whitelist tokens for the artists to allow free mints, and also launching the mainnet after these are all added. So it should be this week sometime. So watch this space. On ErgoNames. I'm getting complicated, getting confused. So implementing the front running patches, and it's also working on starting Figma UI render. ErgoSapiens will launch soon after the Lilium mainnet. And then on the Zengate side, congratulations, has started a position as a backend dev alongside with LGD, and is currently in the research phase for tokenized traceability. It's awesome to see. Okay, scrolling down. Little mention here from Mr. Strafberger. The desktop version supports Ergo Auth as well. So for Ergo Wallet, definitely has Ergo Auth implemented. It's not only available on mobile. And then on a non-real. So on his side, or their side, the auction house is released and working smoothly, dealing with some feedback from the community for user experience. And he's thinking about auction coin. So there's a lot of unknowns about it. It will be interesting to see it in action. Let's see. Okay, next we have Ilya from Spectrum. So the Spectrum core side of things has finished diffusion protocol implementation. So the blocks, transactions, and dissemination. It's working on the VRF implementation and working on node view implementation. So the role of the component is similar to the node view in Ergo client. Okay, scrolling down, there's a bit of chatter here between a bit of development talk. Next we have Pulsarz and the FleetSharp update. So it's made an ERP12 connector for usage with FleetSharp in the Blazor WebAssembly, and has submitted the first transaction through Nautilus. So now FleetSharp can be used in web development as well. Fantastic to see. Scrolling down once again. Okay, next we have Death Gripson, and the analog Ergo update has finished register decoding from any receiver claim transaction, and is currently working on the initiator claim with a decoded register value function. Next, it looks like we have Soysler and the bit domains update. So continuing work on the contracts has refracted to use the reservation. So activate pattern after the chatting with morphic. Rewrote and added tests for the contracts, and is working on contract changes to allow wallets to recover usernames from the fresh wallet restore easier. Currently it's very inefficient. So yeah, watch this space once again. HQ for Erg Cubes. I was working on new tokens dashboard with charts, holders, stats, metrics, and basic info about them. I wouldn't call bull and bear feature to the tokens, so the community can vote also. If you want to check that out, head over to ergcube.com. I think it's just released in the last 24 hours or thereabouts from the time of this recording. Yes, it looks pretty cool. Scrolling down, next we have QX. And he's done some work on his Ergo portbot. So has added Bass and Greasy Sex tokens to the price bots and tracking. And on the Sigmanauts front, has created on-chain voting procedure with auto-generated unique yes, no, and abstain wallet for each vote. So Sigmanauts can read up on the vote and submit their custom vote token. So after creating and registering it with the SIGs, to one of the wallets in a transaction. So the system will be looking for registered tokens in those unique wallets pertaining to each of the votes, and will show a real-time live tally. That's awesome. Nice little picture here. I remember the days walking with a Zimmer frame, thinking back when he was young, from pragmaxim. And scrolling down, we have an update which was provided on Twitter. The Tabby POS guys working on a point of sale system that incorporates Erg. They've provided an update on Twitter, so you can jump on and follow their Medium articles there. And then Duck Pools, so the latest dev update. So they have had their security audit, and it was being completed. They're currently in the process of putting the audit together in a readable form. And the audit did demand some small changes to be made to the contracts, and also included a checklist of tests that will need to be complete before private testing. So they're currently completing those checks, and we'll post an update in the coming days. And nice little message here. Thanks everyone for the support. And as mentioned a little bit earlier, Ergo Protocol Reference Client version 5.0.11 was released by Kushti on the 6th of June. So anyone running a node, update. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to the weekly developer update. It's always a pleasure reading through and seeing what everyone is working on in the ecosystem. So it's an exciting time of the week for myself and many others, just keeping a finger on the pulse of what's happening on Ergo. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good one.